Hello and welcome to this afternoon taste challenge. Normally I do them at dawn, the Dawn Busters, but I needed to double up today due to scheduling issues. Oh well, welcome, and today we are looking at, if I can grab them over here, very old Barton. I've got some left, you see. Very old Barton Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey, 80 proof. This is the 4-year age expression, okay? Introduced in 1964. There were other Barton brands before that, like Barton. What's it called? Barton American blended whiskey has been on the market since 1949. VOB. Okay, I bought this in Frankfort, Kentucky. All right. No, I mean, I'm going to take that back. I bought it in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky. I was going to go to the Wild Turkey thing, but the schedule didn't work out, and I never did get to go to Wild Turkey. I did go to Buffalo Trace that day. I wanted to go to the Buffalo Trace tour that night, but it was booked. It gets booked quick, the nighttime tour. And we're going up against Speckled Tail American whiskey. This is from Auburndale, Florida. I would like to visit that distillery and bottling plant if they allow tours. I don't know. Doesn't say anything about visit our distillery. But it's right there off the interstate between Tampa and, make sure, ST, Speckled Tail, Tampa and Orlando, so not far from Disney World. I wouldn't want to go see Disney World. I enjoyed Disney World when I was 8, but I'm not too big into rides, you know. I like to see active things in the sense of like a distillery that's making products. When I went to Washington, D.C., I didn't tour the Smithsonian Institute. I toured the Department of Agriculture and the Canadian Embassy, things that are working, you know. Well, the Canadian Embassy, they don't really let you in. They let you come in the guest area. And then there was a art exhibit in the basement. Well, it was kind of nice, Canadian artwork. But anyway, okay. Speckled Tail introduced in 2017, so it's a new brand. It's aged a minimum of 4 years, could be longer. Apparently in used barrels, because it's not listed as bourbon whiskey, but as American whiskey, just like Early Times and some other products on the market. If they're aged in used barrels, they can't be classified as bourbon. But it might be, you know, it's bourbon in every other sense of the word, but not in a legal sense. And the legal sense is the sense that matters. Okay. And the very old Barton, aged 4 years, minimum of 4 years, and at Buffalo Trace. And their website has a pretty detailed description of the flavor and the awards it's won and all of that. All right, so am I going to be able to tell them apart? I think the very old Barton's going to have more of a charred oak flavor and maybe a higher rye flavor, because Barton tends to, when I say Barton, I mean Sazerac, Buffalo Trace, and Barton together. They tend to have a higher rye note than other products, from my experience. I noticed this morning I did Speckled Tail against McAfee's Old No. 8. And I got it that fast. Just on aroma alone, I knew that's McAfee's benchmark Old No. 8, and that's Speckled Tail. And Speckled Tail, I noticed as I drank more on it, it tasted more and more like Seagram 7. And Seagram 7 comes from Lawrenceburg, Indiana, and I have a feeling that Speckled Tail is probably distilled there and then shipped down to Florida and probably just bottled in Florida. It's probably aged, because I know there's a huge aging facility at Lawrenceburg, Indiana, the old Seagram's facility. So you probably if you've seen our previous videos I made, you're probably aware that Midwest Grain Products, there's another distillery area in Kansas. I haven't seen too many products that seem to come from there. That might all go to the West Coast. But they do a lot of production of gin, vodka, whiskey, other things, and then they ship them out to companies that want to use it for their brands. So if you're careful, be careful when you drink a craft rum or a craft gin. If it only says bottled in that craft distillery and it doesn't say distilled there, you might be drinking something from MGP. Might be wonderful, it might taste great, but it's probably not really craft product, which actually does not have a legal definition. Okay. The speckled tail seemed a little darker, so I got to make sure I don't look too close at them. Very old Barton, in my experience, was sort of bland. So, no, I'm not going to say it tasted bad. It wasn't a bad bourbon, but it wasn't too remarkable or fabulous. Like the rundown, the description on the website didn't seem to match up with what I was tasting. In other words, their description was a lot more elaborate than what I was tasting, which seemed kind of yeah, dull or low profile. I hate to use those terms, but I don't know. I seem like when I'm doing beer, I come right at them, right? You're dull. It's dull. So I shouldn't be taken up for whiskey. I did a Scotch whiskey today. I'm going to post that, but it could be in 6 days. That Scotch whiskey. I didn't want to say dull because I didn't think that was right. Even when I was trying to think while I was doing the review. I was saying, no, it's not dull. It's just that was the word I used, the term low profile. It was very mellow. And I was watching reviews for it, and what those guys were saying seemed to match what I was experiencing with it, although they were better at describing it because they obviously had a lot more experience with whiskey. It was interesting to watch that after I reviewed it and say, yeah, that's what I was saying. But we'll get to that later. Let's look at, we got to round out and finish out the bourbons. Because the Speckled Tail is the last of the bourbon style whiskeys I have. And I need meaning in the context of this hobby, not need in real life. I don't need to do any of it. I just want to. I would like to do the Canadian blended whiskeys, and I have so many, and the Scotch whiskeys. And when I lined them up on the table today, I said, look how many I have. And then I was wanting to buy Inverhouse. I need to forget it. I mean, I got too many now. Alex, the beer master. How you been, Ron? Oh, I've been fine, yeah. I was just writing an email to Circle K company, which is a subsidiary of this big Canadian company. I was telling them I cheated y'all, but it wasn't intentional. It was not intentional. Out of $15.43 because the girl on Tuesday rang up $50 because it wasn't reading the card at the machine. You know, sometimes it doesn't work. And I said, I just want to fill it up. Well, you know, they don't let you do that. They don't. It's like it can't work that way. You got to give them an amount. I said, well, give me $50 worth, but you know, it's not going to be that much. And I said, it'll probably just actually charge me only for gas I use. And she said, no, you come back and I'm going to give you the change in cash. I said, what? You sure about that? Yeah. I said, okay, because I don't want to get cheated. So when I first checked my bank account, it said $50. I said, okay, she was right. I told her, I said, I'll bring the money back, but you don't know who's working the next day. Well, I checked today. Yeah, it only charged me the $34.57. Because she was saying, I hope my drawer doesn't come up short. And I'm thinking, well, why are you the one giving me the change? You know, I'm thinking you're the one setting the policy. Okay. I'm just trying to get the gas. So I wrote an email to them saying, what should I do? Because I was very reluctant to go to that store with a different cashier and say, here's the money, make sure she gets it. Because then you get the feeling, no, they're going to pocket the money and say, too bad for her. I wasn't working that day. I didn't trust that. Okay, on with the taste challenge. But I'm not one of these people. I'm not going to say, too bad for them. I got my 1540. That's stealing, and that's theft, right? Thou shalt not steal. I'm not going to steal these people's money. So I sent them an email. Now the ball is in their park, right? Or the ball's in their court, their side of the court. They got to decide how they're going to deal with it. I gave them the time, the date. So, I mean, they can look up and see. I even gave them the pump number 8. So it shouldn't be that hard for them to figure out a plan of action. And I mean, we're only talking about $15.43. Still in all. Okay. Well, these are very nice in the aroma, I have to admit. Now, I was saying that about Barton all those other times I drank it. I said it had a nice aroma, but the flavor didn't seem to come across that good. And this is common with beer, not so much wine, I've noticed, but with beer and whiskey, gin, I'm not sure about. I haven't had enough of that. I don't mess with gin, though. I mean, if I see some other oddball gin, I'll buy it, but I don't like to mess with it. Okay, but I don't trust that stuff. But the whiskey, I find that with the whiskey and the beer, like the aroma will be just fabulous. And you've seen a lot of videos I've done where I said, oh man, this beer smells great. And then you taste it, but it's only half the flavor of the aroma. Like it's a lot more muted and it's a disappointment. And I saw some people doing a review examination last night. And they were saying that about a particular beer. In the aroma, wow, it's great. And then the flavor, it's not that great. Hey, Ron, what are you drinking? Oh, well, you look at the title. Very Old Barton versus Speckled Tail. Okay, so I'm getting charred oak, wood, caramel, the flavor common, the aroma commonly associated with whiskey. Corn, sourdough, which is making me think Barton. I don't know if Barton is a sour mash whiskey, but it smells like it. 34th day of Kentucky, 2017. That's got to be what that means. It's either coming from Bardstown or Owensboro, Kentucky. They don't distill any liquor in Owensboro anymore. That used to be Glenmore Distillery, but they do a lot of bottling there and maybe aging. Now, where did I come about that information? Sazerac says it. Okay, on their website. This one is a lot spicier in the nose and more, it's like, I don't want to say minty, floral or something. It's got a lot of pep in the nose, if that makes sense. A lot of alcohol eggs here on the glass. Ooh, man. Nice. So no whiskey on Friday and no whiskey on Saturday, okay? From me, you might drink some. I won't be. Sunday, we'll get back into it. Okay. Oh, well, I have to say that in aroma alone, in appearance, they look nice, and in aroma, they're just fabulous. The Speckled Tail does have this weird sediment. It's got this powdered sediment all from the top to the bottom. It looks like some white stuff's growing in it. And I had the same thing with the Tin High. If you know what that is, let me know. I don't know. It could be some kind of mold. Does mold grow in whiskey? Or was it not filtered correctly? I don't know. Didn't smell or taste strange. It just looks weird. When I went to Walmart today, I forgot to check. I was going to look at another bottle and see, but I forgot. Oh, we'll go left to right. Maybe you're right to left. Let's go taste. I don't want to go on too long. So, in aroma, I couldn't tell them apart. Like, you know, with the McAfee's benchmark and the Speckled Tail, I knew as soon as I smelled them which was which. This one, no. The taste. Yeah, it tastes kind of like Speckled Tail. The Speckled Tail has a lot of nectar flavor, honey, charred oak. It tastes just like bourbon. I mean, if you gave somebody Speckled Tail and told them this is some bourbon, you want it, and they tasted it, they'd say, "Oh, that's a fine tasting bourbon. Where is it from?" And you'd say, "Gotcha, it's Florida. It's from Florida, and it's just American whiskey." They'd say, "Oh, yeah. What's the difference?" The answer, not much difference. Actually, even, hey, Ron, how long you had to whiskey? What is that? I'm not sure I follow what you're saying. How long you had to whiskey? You mean how long have I been drinking whiskey? Oh, about 5 years, but not regularly, only regularly about a year or two. The first whiskey I ever tried was that Sazerac rye, which was great. I tried the young one. Thank you, Sonia. She gave me that. She might be watching. All right. I drank that whole bottle. This one, a lot of wood, man, and some mint and flowers. Pourquoi the flowers? But you see, it's got, oh man, it's got a Seagram 7 taste profile. I don't know quite how to explain it. It is not a blended whiskey because Seagram's, it has to say it. If it's a blended whiskey and it's 75% grain, neutral spirits, corn, liquor, whatever, it has to say it. This does not say that. But it has that common taste that the Seagram's has. And Seagram's has a real woody taste. Like, how long did you, okay, you might be having problems with your typing. How long did you had to whiskey that you're drinking? How long? How many years? How long did I have the whiskey now that I'm drinking? Oh, not long. I bought the Speckled Tail about maybe December 2017, something like that. And I bought the Barton, the very old Barton, around in May. Yeah, May of 2017. I haven't had them long. Get this thing here. And then compare it to Seagram 7, back to 4. I might do that. Might. I don't know. I don't think I will. Because I want to save the Seagram 7 for all the blended taste challenges, honestly. But there's some kind of common, oh, it's hard to describe. It's like, it's not a charred wood so much as it's like a straight, just wood, like a toothpick wood. Yeah. I think that's the term I used. It's unusual, but not bad. Just unusual. All right, I'll try it again. See, this one's sweeter and has more of a charred wood, and this one is more of the toothpick wood, something. Now, which one tastes better? Well, I guess it's a tie. The Speckled Tail is $10.79. They might have lowered the price because it was $10.99 at Walmart, I thought, but it's $10.79. Maybe I just was confused, but you got to watch Walmart though, because the tag very often does not match what it rings up. I'm talking about the whiskey. I don't know about foodstuffs. That too sometimes, but you got to watch it because I say, wait a minute, hold on. And I'll tell them the price is way off. And they'll say, well, we can't fix that. That's the distributor puts the prices. And then I've talked to distributors, confronted them about it, and they say, they're crazy at Walmart. We don't do that. They put those tags. Those people are nuts. But I think Walmart was meaning that the distributor makes the price that the Walmart puts on the tag. But I think Walmart people are careless, and they like don't change the tags or something. I don't know what the problem is, but they're both blaming each other. I don't care. I just know that I don't like going to the register and it rings up different than the tag. Okay. Goalkeepers says, hey, does it taste good? Yes, they both taste very good. So I can't say that one beats the other. It's a tie. The price, yeah, that's the same. The very old Barton's going to cost you probably about $11 for a bottle. Might be cheaper though, but it's probably about $11 in Kentucky. I'm not sure about that because I only bought this half-size bottle, so I don't know really. Kentucky viewers might know. But neither one of them, they're both inexpensive. Or if you want to say cheap, whatever word you want to use, but they're not expensive at all. They're like, is there a cheaper bourbon than these two? Maybe, but probably not too many. Okay. If I'm wrong, don't hold it against me. These are hard to tell apart. Ooh, okay. Man, that wood. Ooh. I think this is the Barton, and I think this is the Speckled Tail. And don't even bother looking on Caribbean Distillers for Speckled Tail because they don't list it. They do list a bunch of whiskeys, even beer, which is a bunch of flavored beer that they make. They do make a lot of rum, but Speckled Tail they don't list. It's one of those hidden brands, you know, but there it is at Walmart and on ABC Spirits of Minnesota, so independent liquor store. Of course, they might be owned by Walmart, but I don't think so. And I think, like I said, I think this is the Speckled Tail. Let's see. Told you I wasn't quite sure. Yes, I bought it at Walmart. Walmart here sells a whole array of whiskeys, gin, vodka, schnapps, you know, everything. Good brands too, not just like cheap stuff. I mean, they got some bottles, $80 a bottle, you know. Okay, they have some strange, unusual brands though, like this Irish whiskey called Douhans, D-O-U-H-A-N. I think it's called Douhans. I never saw that before. I said, "What's Douhan?" I tried to look it up. I couldn't find any information. They sell the Scotch. They're the only ones that sell the Scotch in my town. It's called it's from Diageo, but they don't list it on Diageo's website. Diageo is like some of these other big companies. They just don't list everything. They list some things that they make, kind of like Heineken, who must make 10,000 brands, but they might list 1,000. Scoresby, yeah, Scoresby, Walmart sells, and it's a pretty good deal. It's like 31 something for the big 1,750 milliliter bottle. But yet, on the other hand, they've got Clan McGregor Scotch, and it's like $16 for the. Oh no, it's cheaper than that. Yeah, it's. I remember what it was. No, it's $19.99. Yeah, $19.99 for the 1,750 milliliter bottle at Walmart. The Clan McGregor, and then it's $9.79 for the regular bottle. So it's cheaper by the ounce if you get the big plastic bottle. Expensive, I guess, he says. No, not expensive. Cheap. Cheap. People might say, you're cheap. Well, you're welcome to buy all of it from me if you'd like. Okay, couldn't tell them apart. Well, that's a little troubling, but it's not exactly a big deal. So I think it does show us that this speckled tail can fit right in with the bourbons, and we're talking about the run-of-the-mill bourbons, I guess you'd say, and it's not that different. So the next scheduled one won't be till Tuesday, if that happens, but it probably will. Oh no, maybe Sunday. Yeah, Sunday. I have it scheduled for Sunday. And unless I get too sleep, unless I can't wake up on time, because, well, we'll see. I think Sunday will happen. So we're looking at 10 high, which has a lot of sediment in it, versus speckled tail, which has a lot of sediment in it. Oddly, they're both odd in that way. That could be a real challenge, because the 10 high is blended bourbon. You say blended bourbon, what the heck is that? Oh, it exists. It exists, my friends. It's a weird one, these blended bourbons. Very weird, but they've got them. Thanks for watching this video production. And maybe we'll succeed next time in the challenge.